When I joined my first professional band, it was very strange. That was in Glasgow in Scotland, where I was born. And Glasgow, Scotland at that time seemed very separate from England. There was no record companies or no management agencies, or in fact nowhere to play in Scotland. So you couldn't get a recording deal. It was very difficult. So the recording deal that I was offered was by a couple of guys who wrote and produced the Bay City Rollers records, and it was the best recording deal that it was the only recording deal we were offered. So we took it, thinking that we'd be able to, record their songs for a couple of years and then start doing our own songs. Of course, it doesn't work out that way. And I moved away from Glasgow at that time to London, and I joined the band The Rich Kids. And that was ill-fated as well. That wasn't going to last either, but it was an interesting project. So after The Rich Kids, I decided I didn't want to join any more bands. I was going to work in recording studios. I was going to be a record producer. And the first 2 or 3 productions that I tried in a demo studio turned out to be Visage tracks, the Visage project that we did. And through Visage, I met Billy Curry, who's the keyboard player in Ultravox, and decided that was the band I had to join. It was just a good combination of people. When we met up, financially we were in a terrible state. Ultravox had just been dropped by their record company, and the Rich Kids that I was in had just split up, and we were dropped by our record company, and we had no management. And it was an awful, if you had to look at it purely on a business level, it would have looked disastrous. But it was so good, the first 2 or 3 rehearsals that we had, that we decided what we had to do was make some money as individuals, go out and make some money as individuals to put it back into Ultravox, to buy the keyboards and pay for rehearsal rooms and things. So I went off and worked with Thin Lizzy for a while, and Billy went off and worked with Gary Newman, and we all sort of worked in other areas to keep Ultravox alive.
Vienna was Ultravox's first big hit in terms of chart positions. How do you feel about that song today?
It's the song, I think, still stands up. I think if you took the Vienna album and the last Ultravox album, Lament, and played a track from either of those albums to someone who didn't know Ultravox's music, I'm sure they wouldn't be able to tell that one was recorded 5 years before the other. And when it came to making Vienna, the video for Vienna, it was very easy, because we knew exactly what we wanted. We'd seen what we could do with film, so we took it that step further. And it's still, I think the video clip still stands up. Although now, when you look at it, because it's been widely copied, you tend to think, oh, well, I've seen all those images before, but you hadn't seen them when we did Vienna at first. They were all very new at the time. Now they look a bit like video cliches.
We walked in the cold air. Freezing breath on a window pane, lying and waiting. A man in the dark in a picture frame, so mystic and soulful. A voice reaching out in a piercing cry, it stays with you until
Chris and I get very involved in it. After seeing how a tiny, tiny idea can turn into this 4-minute movie, we get very excited about it. And we worked hand in hand with our director, Russell Mulcahy, on the first 4 Ultravox videos. In fact, we were so involved in it that actually in the 4th video, Russell didn't really do much to it. He pieced it together for us, but we actually came up with the complete storyboard and all the imagery. And so by the time the 5th video came along, we decided we wanted to try doing it ourselves. So for the last 8 Ultravox videos, Chris and I have directed them, as well as videos for other artists as well. I think just doing the 10 or 12 videos that I've done has given me a taste for it, and I've got a natural flair for it because I wasn't taught video the same way I wasn't taught music. So it's something that I'd like to pursue in the future. But I'd also like to do film music because I think the type of music that both Ultravox and myself do would suit film really well.
Maybe you should direct a film and do the music as well.
That would be the ultimate. That'll take a wee while though. That'll take another few years of learning yet.
Which one do you think is the best among Ultravox's videos?
Very difficult to say. I think Love's Great Adventure simply because it's funny.
Standing on my own, it didn't mean that much to me. I thought I had it all. I didn't see the mystery. I stood the test of time and took the step to find love's great adventure. Wait a minute. All right. I spoke a million words. They didn't mean that much to me. They rang around my head like empty, tuneless harmonies. Those great adventures.
You have your own record label, Music Fest, and also your own recording studio in your garden. How come you started your own label?
I started my label simply because there's artists around that I think are really talented, I think are really good, but the rest of the music industry doesn't seem to agree with me. I just naturally come across people that I think are talented, and I'd like to guide them in the right direction, use whatever experience I've gained over my career to help others.
You're also involved in other projects. Together with Bob Geldof, you're behind the Band-Aid single.
Yeah, that's a long story, that one. Yeah, Bob and I wrote the record, wrote the song, and once we'd written the song, Bob went off to find all the artists involved, and I spent 4 or 5 days in my studio recording the backing track. And of course, once the record was a mammoth success, we formed the Band-Aid Trust, where Bob and I are trustees to oversee the monies that was made by that record.
But you actually play all the instruments yourself from the single?
Yeah, everything except the drums. Phil Collins did that. Now, if I could play drums like Phil Collins, I'd be a happy man, but I can't. So I did everything else.
And there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. The greatest gift they'll get this year is life. Oh, where nothing ever grows, no rain or rivers flow. Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
Your first solo album, The Gift, has just been released, but actually you released your first solo single, No Regrets, in '82 already.
That's right.
Why wasn't there an album at that point?
I didn't have the time to do it. I did too many other things. Although I told everyone I was going to do an album, as I normally do. But I had to wait, obviously, until Ultravox were going to take a natural break.
There's no regrets, no tears goodbye. I don't want you back. We'd only cry again. Say goodbye again.
With No Regrets, did you get the taste for doing exactly what you wanted without compromising?
Yeah, it's quite interesting doing stuff totally on your own, without compromise, as you said, where you could there's no one there to say, well, I don't think the drum pattern's right, or I don't think, the vocal sounds quite the way it should and things. And I did get a good taste of it, and I quite enjoyed it. So I thought that trying to do an album would be a bit of a challenge, because I'd never written that amount of stuff on my own before, or tried to be in a studio for like 2 or 3 months on my own. And it was good. At times it was very difficult. At times you wish that someone else was there, so that when it became very difficult to say, okay, right, you take over, but there's no one there to take over.
What's the main difference between Ultravox's music and Midge's solo music?
I think the basic difference is the fact that the solo stuff is a lot simpler than Ultravox music. It's not quite as complex arrangement-wise. Although I actually enjoy the complex arrangements with Ultravox, at times it's nice to get away from it and just do something that's very simple and very basic. And I think the solo stuff is very simple.
You seem to have so many things around you. What's the most important thing in your life?
Me enjoying myself, doing exactly what I want to do. I think that being your own boss, I suppose, for this length of time, you've got to actually do what you enjoy. Life's too short to do what everyone else wants you to do. So as long as I can carry on making the sort of music I want and pursuing my interest in film, I'll be a happy man.
Can you just show me what's that you have there?
Oh yeah, this is wonderful. I used this in a video for If I Was. It's all a bit dirty and grotty just now. It's a thing that I found in America. I found it in Los Angeles, in a shop that sells ridiculous things. It sells, sort of one-off designs like a Porsche pipe, and Cherokee Indian bracelets and things. Really odd shop. And I saw this thing and I couldn't figure out what it was. And it's a series of pins that they're all loose, and they slide up and down. And when you stick your face into it, it does this wonderful thing.
If I was a better man, would fellow men take me to their hearts? If I was a stronger man, carrying the weight of popular demand, tell me, would that love her? I'd never harm her at all. If I was a soldier, captive arms I lay before her. If I was a sailor, 7 oceans I'd sail to her.